I felt like Caitlin Clark and Lisa Bluter was the best way to open FIFA Fridays up. Like, this picture is it's just amazing. But listen, though, 57 days until the season start. We got Caitlin Clark back in the Iowa building. We got Lisa Bluter. I don't know what they was doing. I don't know what Zoom call they was on. I don't know nothing. But I did comment. I said, it looks like there's, like, Caitlin's there to make sure Lisa's using it right. We got Caitlin Clark news to go over. We have Lexie Hull news. We got FIFA news. There's so much to talk about. A lot happened this week. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into all that,
welcome to FIFA Fridays.
How y'all been, man? All right, let's get straight into it. Let's move on from that, okay? So we have correlation. Big Coach of the Year. What is 1G? Y'all can let me know what that means. This might be like a play on words and numbers here. But day made for Jordan. He even showed her his step back. Thanks, Caitlin, for being amazing with your time. And look at C22 still impacting the youth.
C22.
Still finding time to work out and just be around these kids. Like being a professional is not easy when you have a work ethic such as Caitlin. When you want to be a great like her, you got to sacrifice a lot of time, which includes partner, relationship time, family time. A lot has to go into the grind to make things happen. But that's why she is where she is today. Okay. I think this is McCabe on playing Ohio State tomorrow. The Hawkeyes play the Ohio State later on tonight. I hope you all ready for that one. They're just another step in our redemption tour. Let's hear what she has to say about that.
Hottest team in the country. Is that how you guys feel right now? You feel pretty hot?
Absolutely, we feel pretty hot. We felt pretty hot coming to the tournament. We said we're going to leave here 5-0, so we're going to keep that going.
How do you feel about going in against Ohio State, a team that you saw recently, tough one that you took a heartbreaker against? How do you feel about facing off with them again now?
Very excited. I think that they're just another step on our redemption tour. We're going to come in with a good game plan, and we're going to be ready to go.
Okay, McCabe talking heavy right now, okay? She said, they just another step in our redemption tour. Like, we ain't even looking right here. We looking at the big prize. Although you got to worry about the day-to-day basis, that's what I like to believe. Next play mentality, next game mentality. Just to be that confident, it says a lot. And this is why the Hawkeyes are where they at right now. And I expect them to win tonight. I expect them to win every game. I don't think they're going to lose. I'm going to be honest. Anyways, Brittany Sykes talking about how happy she is to play with Lexie Hull in Unrivaled.
Speaking of other players, the cool thing about Unrivaled, you're on Team Rose. You get to kind of mix in with players who normally are sometimes your opponents.
Yes.
You might have seen them around at different stops and stints in your career. But who are some of the players on Team Rose that you've really enjoyed either having the opportunity to spend more time with?
Yeah. I mean, all of them. Honestly, I can't really pick one person on the team.
But
I will say one person that I was like, oh, man, like, I'm actually glad we get to be teammates. It's probably Lexie.
Lexie Hull.
Like, you know, I'm a very observant person. And it's like Lexie was always on Indiana. She did her job. She harassed me when she had to guard me. Like, so it was pretty cool just to, like, just talk to her and communicate with her without being opponents.
Right.
And it's always like, I'm coming for blood when I see you. And now we sit next to each other in the locker and we cracking up.
What's interesting?
It's crazy because she could admit that even Lexie Hull was harassing me. And a lot of people have stuff to say about Lexie Hull's defense, as if her defense wasn't, like she wouldn't be a starter on a championship team. But I feel like Lexie Hull could very much start. I feel like we just got so many good pieces that Lexie Hull doesn't have to start, which goes to say how deep our team is. Like Lexie Hull is definitely a great point of attack defender, and coming off the bench, I don't know why people think she's going to start. Lexie Hull's not going to start, okay? Let's debunk that right now. Lexie Hull will not start on the Indiana Fever on opening night, which is okay. I'm fine with it. At first, I was skeptical when we had only Sophie and Lexie, but now with Dewana coming in and Natasha, there's no way Lexie Hull starts, and I'm completely fine with that. And I feel like y'all should be too. Not as an offense to Lexie, no disrespect to Lexie, but that just shows how good our team is, how deep we are. We don't have to start Lexie, But we're gonna be torching teams. We're gonna have so much fresh legs. We know we're not gonna be running our girls down to the floor because we're deep. We got people to play now. We got options. Look at the Iowa team right now. They're playing every day, but they got so many players that can step up that they're not exerting everything on Lucy at the expense of Lucy Hull's energy. She don't have to exert all her energy on defense and offense when her teammates, like you seen Ava Hayden come in yesterday and dominate, and it was Aaliyah Guiden the other day. Listen, this is a FIFA Friday, but the Hawkeyes is a part of the FIFA. It's a mutual friendly relationship, especially Caitlin Clark bridging that gap. But we got Colin Coward discusses whether the WNBA is a viable product without Caitlin Clark. Good segment. Shout out to Ken Swift. Listen to this.
I want to talk WNBA. I'm kind of fascinated by it because the WNBA did not make a lot of money. And I believe for its entire existence, the NBA has subsidized the WNBA. And you may argue the moral, and there's a certain humanity to supporting women's sports. I completely understand that. And then Caitlin Clark arrived. And the team flies private, and the ratings are insane. Now, the league was growing, and I think the quality over the last 10 years has improved dramatically. But Caitlin Clark is, as I've said, Taylor Swift in tennis shoes. It is just a once-in-a-generation. It's Tiger Woods the golf.
Oh, that's a bar right there. I'm going to be honest. Caitlin Clark is a Taylor Swift in tennis shoes, just as far as impact-wise.
Caitlin Clark is, as I've said, Taylor Swift in tennis shoes. It is just a once-in-a-generation. It's Tiger Woods the golf. It's Shohei Ohtani. It's like, it's an event. Every game's an event. Is the WNBA a viable TV product, or is it we have a once-in-a-generation talent? Obviously, the WNBA would not allow you to just buy a Caitlin Clark package. But is she powerful enough? Because she could have a 12 to 15-year run here, Michael.
Yes.
Is she powerful enough? A singular star with a little bit of a Magic Larry Bird quality because of Angel Reese. That absolutely helps. There was a story we could follow.
Yes.
Us Americans,
Yes.
we love our stories. We love the journey.
I'm going to be honest. I love Colin Coward's point on this because although Angel Reese is nowhere near Caitlin Clark in talent, it does help with the storylines. Without an Angel Reese, the Caitlin Clark effect, yes, it impacts the league on a lot. But everyone loves a good storyline. Everyone loves some drama. Everyone loves to compare it. And unfortunately for the Angel Reese fans, it came at the expense of Yah because she's not as good as Caitlin. But for Caitlin Clark fans, we was having a field day because every time they matched up, every time Caitlin Clark had a game, anytime Caitlin Clark dominated, dropping triple doubles and all these crazy stats she's putting up, leading the league and all this stuff, it's like, it creates like, it's good to have engagement. Like, it's good to have dispute and debates as long as we keep it respectful and use logic. I was hearing illogical takes, which is why I was getting pissed off at last year's, all the fans, what they were saying, talking about Angel Reese should win Rookie of the... Like, when you take away Caitlin Clark unanimous MVP voting, like, when they start getting to those levels, that's when the line is being crossed. But as far as debating who's the better player, be a fan of Angel Reese, be a fan of Caitlin Clark. You don't gotta be, you can love both. You can love both. I don't want y'all to be like, oh, you can only pick one or the other. But I like that point though. I like that point.
Angel Reese is part of this.
But she's not the reason though.
Is that over the next 15 years going to be a viable TV product, or do we just have a megastar and that's all it is?
So it's both those things.
Thank you.
And I know it's always sort of a cop-out answer when you give somebody an either-or choice and they say it's both. But I do think in the WNBA, it's both something that was growing and viable and becoming more viable by the year, and then you injected into that a once-in-a-lifetime talent in Caitlin Clark, who I think is very obviously the overwhelming number one factor in the growth of WNBA viewership last year. I think when we looked at Indiana Fever games versus all other WNBA games last year, the Caitlin Clark games were doing triple the viewership of the rest of the league. And that is a Tiger Woods level of impact. I don't know that there's ever been anybody in team sports, even Michael Jordan, where you would look at their games and see them doing triple the average of the rest of the league. So I do think a big part of it is that once in a lifetime phenomenon of Caitlin Clark. And we should just acknowledge the obvious and, make it clear that she is plainly the driving force behind the growth of the league.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if, God forbid, Caitlin Clark had a career-ending injury, she were out of the league, if Caitlin Clark just were taken out of the equation, I still think the WNBA would be on a growth trajectory.
Okay, now this is where you see how it just take a turn. He just said he feels like even if Caitlin Clark wasn't in the league, they would still be trending upward. If Caitlin Clark wasn't even near the league, if she wasn't even at a distance to even sneeze on the league, this league would fall instantly. This league does not I'm trying to say it humbly, But I don't care because I'm not Caitlyn. Like, if I'm Caitlyn, I'm going to just let people say what it is. But because I'm not Caitlyn, and I'm going to just say it for, like, without Caitlyn Clark, there is no WNBA. It's the Clark, and you know what I'm saying? It's the W Clark CBA. Like, it's the Women Caitlyn Basketball Association. Obviously, I'm joking because you got the great players like Nafisa Collier. Yes, I understand that. But we're talking about as far as trending, as far as popularity, relevance. No. Nobody cares about all these other players as much as Caitlyn Clark. They care about, it's so crazy because Caitlyn Clark is literally like the conduit, if I'm saying the word properly, right? Where she is literally, for all my electricians right here in the community, what do you call the piece that charges, like you can plug into it like a power bank, right? Caitlyn is like the power bank. She can charge the league and she can charge the players at the same time. So she's bringing the league up and the players up at the same time. If you take away the power bank, the electric generator, both crumble. Yes, you got a good wheel. Yes, you got a good model of your car. But without the engine, this car ain't going nowhere. Caitlyn is the engine, you know? Like, so what he's trying to say is, oh, without Caitlyn, we still would be going this way. No, that's like saying without an engine, the car would still be moving slowly 2 miles per hour. The car is going 0 miles per hour without the engine. The league goes nowhere without Caitlyn. They don't sign that $1 billion deal without Caitlyn. Unrivaled does not do all that marketing stuff they did in November without Caitlyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Olympics did not get as much views as it did without Caitlyn, and she wasn't even there. They had people at the Olympics with signs like, you need Caitlyn Clark to beat us. So we're not even going to act like without Caitlyn Clark. Like, I wouldn't even be here talking right now if it wasn't for Caitlyn Clark. You know what I'm saying? I'm not covering the Indiana Fever if it wasn't for Caitlyn Clark. So let's drop that narrative, you know?
And it wouldn't be the kind of exponential growth that we saw last year.
You see, Colin wanted to cut him off so bad. Colin was itching like, I know you ain't just say that.
But this is a product that was moving forward pretty steadily prior to Caitlyn. And even now, if you look at the collegiate level, seeing growth,
yes.
ESPN seeing some growth. You've still got this next generation of superstars. That's Juju Watkins here in LA.
Okay. Now I see where he's coming. You see how I know where he's coming from. He's pushing the Juju agenda just like the rest of them. Okay.
Paige Beckers in Connecticut, right?
Okay.
Like,
It
we're
makes
still
sense.
seeing progress post Caitlyn. And it makes me think that, like, obviously she's the catalyst. She's what drives the explosion of interest. I think sometimes we overstate the idea that it's more than Caitlyn. But there was a growth curve there before Caitlyn, and I think it would continue even if we were somehow in a post-Caitlyn.
Oh my goodness! I wish Ken didn't cut it off. I really wanted to hear what Kyle had to say. We could watch it. Yo, Ken, you got to start dropping timestamps on these so we could go look at it ourselves if you watching this, my brother. All right, let's move on though. That was a great clip though. I know Colin wanted to get to that so bad and rebuttal. All right, so we got I love Caitlyn as much as the next person, but the broadcast said it was the quote unquote Caitlyn Clark effect that sparked their strong finish. He's to Iowa's win last night, right? That may not have hurt, but Lucy also needs her flowers. She turned the heat up, and her team and the team followed a true leader. I agree with that for the most part. But I agree with this reply even more. Anybody that starts a sentence with "I love Caitlyn, but" is a disingenuous person. Everybody knows that Caitlyn's presence at a Hawkeye game is a difference maker, just like it was when they pulled off the upset against USC after a series of bad results. And I can definitely agree with that because a lot of players don't say this because coaches tell them this, because the staff telling them, because owners tell them this. They say don't talk to the crowd, don't feed into it. KD just spoke about it the other day. They tell you a bunch of stuff not to do. Caitlyn Clark is literally like, players feed off the crowd. If you ever watch FIFA games and all that, whenever they was down and Caitlyn made a run and she gets the crowd into it, she goes like this, like, yes. Caitlyn uses her power at any given moment because she knows how influential it is, how impactful it is, especially if it's not for her teammates. Like, it helps when you would just get an open pass in the corner and the whole crowd is like, oh yeah, this is good. And you like, all right, the whole crowd, like, it boosts your confidence, especially your teammates telling you, like, it's a confidence booster. So yes, the Caitlyn Clark effect, and yes, you don't have to be on the court to play, but her watching the game might make you turn your swag up a little bit, you know? Like, they beat USC after losing to them, right? On Caitlyn's jersey retirement night, they beat them. So, like, yeah, the Caitlin Clark effect is a real thing. Not taking nothing away from Loose the Truth and Hannah Stokey and them, but they definitely turning it up because it will hurt to lose around Caitlin, knowing that most of the fans came out not only to watch the Hawkeyes, but to just in case Caitlin is in the building, you know? Let's watch this though. The Hawkeye saves Caitlin Clark. And then look at the Iowa Hawkeye. Gave him a dap. I don't know what he was trying to do. Caitlin tried to give him a dap like, hey, I know you're trying to come to my rescue, but my boyfriend right there. Connor right there. Connor's one of the like coolest guys. That, like, he literally just lets Caitlin be herself. Like he fully understands. There's no surprise why they together for that long. Like he fully understands. Like Caitlin gonna be Caitlin, and I'm not gonna interfere with that. Especially that got her this far. You know, we got Kate Martin reading Caitlin's books to kid. Now I didn't know Caitlin had a book, but this is amazing. And Kate is fully invested in this. You see her legs crossed, fully into the book. She's comfortable. Got a little drink on the side. That's fire. What we got here? Caitlin Clark engaged at the Iowa game. Let's see this.
Almost like Stokey went to the side to not
and look at Caitlin at the end.
Contact.
They called the charge on that, I'm assuming. And Caitlin, like, that's a bad call. Caitlin is literally, like, her mouth is wide enough to scream into the next arena. She get, like, you can tell she's screaming with everything in her. Oh, damn, it duplicated. All right, we got my brother, Van Shea, saying, quote-unquote, he quoted it from The Athletic, the Lynx also explored trading for Thomas. League sources told The Athletic and looked at signing her fiancé and former Sun teammate, DeWanna Bonner. Phoenix also heavily courted Bonner. League sources said yet the desire to win immediately among factors led Bonner to the Indiana Fever. All five of last season's All five of last season's regular starters left during this offseason's free agency, including 3 who had spent their entire careers, a collective 23 seasons with the organization. One of the players, Alyssa Thomas, sought a move to a championship contender, Phoenix, with superior facilities due to Matt Ishbia. Then the Minnesota Lynx also explored trading for Thomas. League sources told The Athletic and looked at signing her fiancé and former Sun teammate, DeWanna Bonner. Oh, yeah, so we're not going to read that again, but yeah, that's an interesting read, though. I'm going to be honest. That's an interesting read right there. Let's move on, though. DeWanna Bonner chose the Fever. This is what Ken Swift, I think he quoted the same tweet and said DeWanna Bonner chose the Fever over Minnie. How would DeWanna Bonner on the Minnesota Lynx look? I'm going to be honest. They would have definitely been the #1 favorites because you got Bonner, you got Fee, you got, that would have been toxic. McBride is still over there, too. Yeah, that would have been bad. Same but different. So we got LeBron James and Luka Doncic are the first duo in Lakers history to record 30 points and 5 3-point made. Then you got Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are the first duo in WNBA history to do the exact same and have 30 points and 5 threes. So, safe to say that you get 2 franchise players together, it's going to equal a lot of good results. The Lakers are currently on like a 8-game, 9-game win streak right now. That's crazy. You got correlation even tweeting it, quoting it, talking about DeWanna Bonner really chose us wow in all caps. Even she can't believe it. Like, honestly, I couldn't believe it at first. I was like, why? You know how the whole world is talking about your wife. Why would you come to Indiana? Like, I couldn't process it at first. Like, what process? Then I thought about it. I'm like, she's a professional before anything. Before all the drama, before everything else, DeWanna Bonner is a professional basketball player and she wants to win. And she knows she can put that stuff aside for the bigger picture. I trust DeWanna Bonner over an Alyssa Smith. I know the possibility of something, conflict of interest. Yeah, I get it. It's still a possibility. I'm not going to throw it off the table. But I'm going to rule it out because I can see maturity in DeWanna Bonner from the way she talks. I don't feel like Alyssa Thomas can handcuff her. I feel like she's a mature adult and she can make her own decisions, which is why she joined the Indiana Fever, whereas Alyssa Smith was being controlled by DeJounte. So it's completely 2 different sides of the spectrum. So I don't want it to be like, oh, just people in a relationship. Like, yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, what you do off the court in your relationship is none of my business. But when it's an impact on my team, that's when I'm going to address it. Lexie's favorite person to play with is Caitlin. Look at Lexie. Lexie could literally just model without, like, she don't even got to go pro. Lexie could literally just model and make a hella money. Her being good at basketball just
First
a plus.
Championship. National championship.
Okay, she's moving way too fast for us. Hold on.
Championship. National championship.
Most memorable game.
Championship. National championship.
Secret talent.
I can juggle a little.
Okay. Layup or three-pointer.
Three-pointer.
Pickup game or horse.
Pickup game.
Yeah. First person you call after a win. I would say if she doesn't have a boyfriend, I would say maybe not her mom, maybe her mom. I don't know.
My boyfriend.
I knew it. What has basketball taught you? I'ma guess be humble, play hard. I don't know.
What friendship is like.
Okay. Athlete you look up to?
NECA.
NECA Agumake?
NECA.
Okay. Favorite person to play with? Caitlin. Okay.
Sprinting. Lines.
And we could tell Lexie's least favorite drill is Caitlin's favorite drill.
Sprinting. Lines.
Pre-game
A
ritual.
nap.
Wow. Favorite mantra.
Be where your feet are.
Basketball makes you feel special.
Happy.
Shout out to Lexie. We still gotta cook that Lexie sound up. We're gonna cook up all their sounds, the Wanda sound, Sophie. Yeah, we're gonna cook up all these people's sound before the season starts. Maya Moore on the next steps for Caitlin Clark as she enters her second year.
You know, next steps, gosh, in this generation, right? You have, I think, just so many more challenges of how to handle yourself as an adult, right? You go through that whirlwind of being a senior in college, transitioning into the W, and then the next step is how to become just an even better leader. And so much of leadership, I think, is listening and learning. And hopefully the more she can get connected to vets in the league and just different people and coaches and anyone that she can glean wisdom from of how to just continue to learn how to be as a connected and inspiring leader as she can be. And a lot of that is walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So she's already on her way, but, continuing to have fun, continuing to anticipate how people are going to try to stop her and being prepared as she can be for next season.
Right, I like that.
Next.
She's basically just saying, just learn, keep asking questions and learn, and keep working hard. Show more than you talk. Okay, C. Clark Report quoted a article from Awful announcing saying, "Sports media lack of coverage for Juju Watkins is inexplicable." She said, lying in the first sentence probably isn't a great look for your credibility. In the first sentence, it says, anything Caitlin Clark can do, Juju Watkins can do. So where's the love for the sophomore sensation from USC? Well, do we really address it? Like, this is rage bait. We not feeding into the drama no more, you know? But, yeah, like this person said, from the logo...
Juju, logo 3, waits up.
Oh my goodness, she airballed it. I was expecting to see a good Juju clip.
Juju, logo 3, waits up.
Juju's a great player, but let's not do that, okay? All right, we got another clip.
Do you think that
there's no other player that can draw in fans like Caitlin Clark? They were talking about her in Australia. For all my Australians in the comments, comment Australia. Or if you not in America, comment where you from and when did you start watching Caitlin Clark?
there's any other players, specifically college players, who can replicate this kind of fandom in the way that we see for Caitlin Clark, Logan?
I honestly don't think so. And I've been thinking about this a ton recently, and it brought me back to a few years ago, or maybe it was last year before, I'm not too sure. I was in the back, like the depths of hell in Adelaide, Australia, doing some like wine tour I did not want to be on. And there were a group of guys, maybe in their 20s, they were talking about Caitlin Clark. Like she was all the way in the boonies of Australia. So I don't think it can honestly happen. And I think it's because her staple is literally a logo 3. Which we have not really seen that often. I mean, hitting a logo 3 is huge for any player, but she was doing it back-to-back games, and that was her trademark. What other player can you say has that type of trademark? And that's where kind of the star and all the eyes on her came from, and especially considering it's kind of how she built her demographic, her fan base, everything. I don't see it. Do you?
So
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think nobody could ever draw in fans like Caitlyn either. So that's where we agree. You know, we got a Venom tweet. This Venom guy is really actually pretty smart. You know, I've been seeing a couple of his tweets. He actually has a little a good good takes whenever I come across him. So we got anything Caitlyn Clark can do, Juju Watkins can do. Okay, great. Except she hasn't yet, and that's why the coverage is not as good. When Juju throws an impossible shot to beat Indiana at the buzzer and then backs it up by doing it again at Michigan State, that's what Caitlyn did. When Juju drops 41, 10, and 12 in the Elite 8, that's what Caitlyn did. When Juju hands the invincible almighty God team its first L of the season in the Final Four, canceling the coronation and scores 41 in the process, that's what Caitlyn did. When Juju takes her historically decent but definitely not blue blood program to back-to-back national title games, that's what Caitlyn did. And of course, when Juju passes Caitlyn to become the all-time points leader in NCAA history, then I promise you she will get every ounce of coverage Caitlyn got. But until then, shut up. And then I said, I disagree. Now, I don't disagree with what CC Report said. I probably should have worded that better. But I said I disagree on the coverage not being as good. This is the only line I disagree with. I said Juju's coverage is even better than Caitlyn's coverage. I said Caitlyn just defies the odds because she is the coverage. And I would argue that the coverage, aka media, goes against her, which makes her influence and impact that much special. Imagine the machine going against you and you're trumping the machine when everybody who came before you relied on the machine. This is different. This is inhumane. She's not regular at all by any, and she's so humble. She doesn't. Like, she literally does barely post, and if she does is about someone else. She barely gives herself flowers on. Like, this girl is just one of a kind. And like the you just seen her say that her staple is a logo 3. You know, another example of the C22 effect. I did the math. All 9 players combined, 2.1K. Caitlyn Clark alone, 2. Wait, hold on. Let me give y'all context. So the most sold cards for the 2024 Prism WNBA basketball since the release, right? And you see all these players: Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Kate Martin, J.C. Sheldon, Rikia. You got Maul, Cardoso. You got Edwards. You got Pilly, if I'm even saying her name right. But all them players combined, 2.1 thousand. You want to know how much Caitlyn Clark did alone? 2.1 thousand. The C22 effect. She is the needle. C22. Like, it's just that simple, man. But listen, though, short FIFA Friday today. You know we got more to talk about. I'm going to see you guys in the next reaction. Hopefully, I could react to the Iowa game tonight. The one I did last night got copyrighted. But I am trying to, get around that. So I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully, I get a reaction tonight after Iowa beats Ohio State. But I do love you guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We so close, 57 days away. We are right there to the season, right there to literally having the best season of our life. Okay, I'm gonna see you guys in the next reaction. It's your boy Venom. I love y'all. Let's go.